Friends, a very warm welcome to all of you in today's live session. I hope that everyone who is able to see or hear us right now, thank you so much for becoming a part of this live session and for connecting with each other in this way today. Friends, we will begin today's live session with the same topic as before because last time we were discussing a subject, and unfortunately, due to some reasons, we couldn't complete our discussion over the past few days. So today is a good opportunity, and we will start this live session with the same topic and the same points as before. First of all, I would like to thank all the members in today's live session. Thank you to everyone who took out time to be a part of today's live session. Friends, today we will talk about some very special topics because, as you all know, in your own lives, in your daily struggles, you often face many things. And sometimes there is no one to tell you whether what you are doing is right or if there is something you can change. Should we move in a different direction? And in this, our thoughts, our mindset, often the way of thinking that has developed over many years, plays a very big role. We tend to believe that whatever we know is the ultimate truth, that there is nothing truer than that, no other perspective beyond it, and no other way of living life. And this predestined, biased, self assumed way of ours, with which we approach every task in life, every day's hustle, the hard work, the desire to achieve something, the stubbornness that we must reach somewhere, only then will we find happiness, comfort, some kind of standard, some place, some destination where we will attain a lot in life. This often touches every aspect of our lives and influences each one of them. Friends, today's topic has been chosen after seeing the desires of some children and the struggles in some children's lives, because there are many children who often find themselves troubled by the struggles of this life. We want to achieve something, to win something, or to attain those standards we have set in our minds, thinking that if we get this particular thing, only then will we be considered successful in life. Whether it's our own people, our friends, our companions, or our family members, every person will only consider you successful after you have achieved that one thing. Otherwise, you are, nobody. Do you face such situations? Friends, many students have asked me this question: what should we do when so many people judge us only by the successes we have defined for ourselves, as if our life is only successful if we achieve those things? Otherwise, we are considered failures. And in today's society, in today's homes, among today's children and adults, there is a huge conflict about whether we are even able to live life properly, whether life is being seen as a failure, and whether, under immense pressure and stress, we are not witnessing our lives being turned upside down every single day. So, friends, we will approach today's topic with this simple notion: what is success after all? What does it mean to win? If you have set your mind on something, does achieving it alone make your life successful? Is that the only way you will be considered successful? And ambition, the intense desire behind attaining anything, when you have told yourself that if I become a doctor, if I clear this exam, if I get a government job, if I am working so hard for one particular thing, only if I achieve that will I have found the right way to live. Only then will I be successful. Only then will I have attained success. Friends, today, many children, many young people, and so many of us, everyone around us, somewhere or the other, even over the smallest things, have made these things a major source of stress and tension in our lives. And many times, believe it or not, we've made them a part of how we live our lives. Friends, let me explain this a little. I want to take you to the very foundation, to the roots of this. Why do you think this way? That something is only making your life worth living, that your life is only successful if you have achieved something, become something, cleared some exam, become a doctor, lawyer, or whatever your heart desires. You're not known by your successes. Inside your mind, inside your brain cells, whatever standards you have set so far, those standards are deciding what is in your life and what should have been. Friends, if you know 10 people, including yourself, and you add the four people in your family whom you consider your closest, your dearest, these could be your family members. Then include an additional four neighbors whom you only happen to meet on occasion. Do these 10 people together establish the definitive benchmark of success for everyone's life? Your parents want you to crack a government exam. Your parents want you to become something. Your parents want you to study hard and achieve something. Or maybe you want to get something for yourself. Do your friends want the same thing? Do your neighbors want the same thing? Does a child sitting by the roadside want the same thing? When you stop at a crossing and see those poor children who work hard every day, do you think their dream in life is also to become a doctor, a lawyer, or to crack some government exam like you? Is it? No. Friends, everyone has different kinds of beliefs because they come from your surroundings. Your environment decides where you will be considered successful in life and where you won't. What kind of trap is this that you have been weaving in your mind since childhood and are still weaving even today? Even at this very moment, you are still weaving it. You are what you think you should be, and you are working day and night for it. Day and night, you are just running after that perception of yourself, chasing the shadow that lies ahead of you. This race is different for everyone. So if I tell you that you won't become what you think you will, that only if you become that will you find success, does that mean your life will become meaningless? Will the meaning of your life change? Will your existence, your being or not being, all become pointless? Friends, unfortunately, these days there are many young people around us who often judge themselves by their possessions, who measure themselves by their grand achievements. So, does this mean that you shouldn't set goals? Does this mean that you should never dream of becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or getting a good job? No. Friends, it is every person's moral nature to strive for their own success, to run after their highest potential. If you sit in a closed room for months, the meaning of your life will disappear. Many times, friends, you must have noticed that when our parents suddenly have no work left in their lives, if our father retires, or if our mother, whose daughters in law, daughters, or many family members start taking care of the house and she suddenly has very little to do, you will see that these people start to feel themselves growing weak much faster than their age. Suddenly, there is a change in the way they walk and move, and suddenly, there is a difference in their enthusiasm for life. Suddenly, life seems to lose all meaning. Friends, life is always connected to those moments of great enthusiasm that bring flavor to your existence. They provide a strong purpose for you to live your life. There should be a goal in your life, but it is not necessary that the goal should be you yourself. In your daily life, you should start evaluating yourself based on the genuine efforts you make and the immense hard work you put in today. And that is exactly why, my dear friends, today I definitely want to dedicate my entire life to those children and all those young people who might think that personal achievement is the only thing that matters in this world. That achievement you imagined, that success, or that thing you attained which you had envisioned. So, to all those people who are always running fast to achieve something, I want to say one thing to them. Up until now, by obtaining anything, you have never received ultimate complete happiness forever. Your happiness has never lasted permanently just because you got something. If you bought nice clothes, if you built a beautiful house, if you bought new land, if you received a bonus, if you were praised for your work, how long does that happiness really last? My dear friends, you are often under the deep illusion that your intrinsic value and your entire sense of worth lies solely in your professional work, or perhaps in the various achievements and external recognition you receive after succeeding in that work. However, I want you to know that this is simply not the case at all. That's why, friends, today I have specially chosen this topic. Sometimes the obsession with winning doesn't let you be happy in your life right now. What you have in your life today, what is present right now, what exists in this moment, holds no meaning for you because your happiness is tied to the future. You keep thinking that what you want to achieve tomorrow, what you want to become, that alone will bring happiness into your life. So, is this obsession with winning, this mission, this dream of achieving great things in life, is it truly a blessing for us? Or is it, in our current situation, becoming like an addiction, a trap for us? The way we are running after things, neglecting our present in order to achieve something, sacrificing today entirely for tomorrow instead of truly living in the present, is this too becoming a major addiction in our lives? And friends, if you think about this a little more carefully and seriously, you'll realize that in some way or another, our approach of living only for certain things, what we get, what we achieve, what we have decided should happen in our lives, this very mindset takes away the happiness from our lives, the beauty of our lives, and the wonderful gift that God, that nature, that the universe has given us. Every day it slips out of our hands. So, friends, I want to tell you one small thing, especially for those of you who have families. Start paying a little attention to your own behavior because you might think that saying small things or sometimes making little sarcastic remarks to your children or pointing out every time something doesn't go right, what difference does it really make? Friends, the accumulation of your everyday, your daily behavior is like dropping a single pebble in one spot. You might think it's just one pebble that I put there. But if you keep dropping a pebble in the same corner of your house every day, after a week, there will be such a pile where you've been dropping them that you'll need to spend several hours just to clean it up. Imagine these are just those behaviors, those words, those things you say to your children, to those around you, to your spouse, to your parents, to your husband or wife, to your friends. Every day, you keep adding a small expectation, a little remark. Every day, you just say one small thing and you think, what's the harm in that? I just said it, that's all. So I just said once, you don't pay attention, you don't study, you just look at things, but you can't actually do anything. Again and again, we just make one remark and say, if we don't say this all the time, how will things work out? And accumulating this behavior towards another person every day, these small negative products filled only with expectations, are like tiny grains added daily. Sometimes it will become so incredibly large that to clean it all up, you'll need to spend countless hours, several months, and make all sorts of different efforts. Friends, I have met many such children, many such young people, and many adults living separately who, after reaching the age of 30, 40, or 50 in their lives, suddenly revamp everything. They clean everything up again, turn their lives upside down because they never got to live the life they wanted to. They were living according to someone else's expectations and never lived a life where they could do what they truly desired. So, friends, today, in this first live session of the new year, I want to share a small thing with you. We are doing this live session together today. We are starting on this note. Can we truly lead ourselves in the right direction? And the first thing that should happen is that we should not place the burden of our expectations on anyone else in our lives, no matter who it is, whether it's your mother, father, brother, or anyone else. You might say, if we do this, then how will people go in the right direction? Friends, some very beautiful questions are coming in. I would like to take a few of those questions as some of them are related to this very topic. These are questions connected to your everyday life. Here is one question. If a life partner falls into bad company and starts eating the wrong things, what should we do in such a situation? Friends, this is a very good question. Let me talk to you a little about this. Today's topic is directly related to this question. I would like to address this. If someone is going in the wrong direction, what should we do? Will repeatedly pointing it out to someone actually make them change? Be sure to find the answer to this question. Friends, when we water a plant that is still flexible and we want to shape it or give it some support, it can only be guided in the right direction by our efforts as long as it remains flexible. Once its stem starts to harden, after that, you can no longer shape it. Friends, When you want to build a house out of clay, that clay can only be shaped as long as it is wet. As soon as it starts to dry, it begins to resist taking shape. It stops taking shape altogether. The people around us, parents, siblings, relatives, children, all these young ones, can only benefit from our goodwill while they are in their most sensitive stage, and we throughout our lives. If we say something to them with that same intention later on, sometimes those things end up doing harm instead of good. A burden of expectations that many times we are never able to share with anyone. Friends, often you will see the weight of these expectations erupting as an outburst within your own family after 10, 15, or 20 years. When people become extremely angry, extremely upset, feeling that they've always been kept under pressure. So, answering your question, friends, if someone falls into bad company, how can you help them change? Then my answer is, friends, you cannot change them. Every person learns to live with their own conscious choices and awareness. You can only protect a plant as long as it is willing to remain under your care. Once it grows beyond your courtyard, beyond your boundaries, then you can only prune it to make it smaller. But that's not protecting it, it's just stopping it from growing. Friends, you can only change a person as long as that person themselves wants to change. When that person understands the value, the worth of that thing, if someone has developed bad eating habits and now thinks those bad things are actually good, your daily efforts will only create a negative, harmful, and pressurizing impact, and you were not sent to fix everything. You were not made an advocate in this world to fix every single thing in it. Just look around you. In families and in society, there are people who think of themselves as inspectors, who consider themselves the protectors of the whole world and their entire family. Many times, people start rebelling against them. Many times, they begin to distance themselves, hiding away and doing things secretly. Friends, I believe this is a major failure in our own lives, that our own children start doing things behind our backs, hiding from us. They have started to feel afraid to tell us the truth, fearing that if they speak honestly, we will find it so wrong that we will criticize them a lot and try to prove them wrong. Friends, there is a saying in India that when a child's feet start to fit into their father's shoes, it means they have grown up. When anyone around us becomes mature enough to start making their own decisions, after that, we have to make ourselves mature. We have to become mature enough that we don't keep trying to become the protector in every person's life again and again. We shouldn't try to steer a boat that has grown too big with just a small oar. Friends, there are 12 more questions coming in. The ultimate goal is success for everyone. So, can we try to win to succeed without being C? I want to tell you a small thing. First of all, you have written this very beautifully. The goal of every person is success. But who will decide what success actually means? When I come home, taking a deep breath of relief can be the most peaceful moment for me. But for someone else, you might seem idle, useless, not doing any work. You could be seen as a person who wastes all their time. If you start considering what others say as the standard of success, then you will never truly be happy with that success, because you yourself do not consider that thing as success, but the whole world considers it as success. Who will decide what success is? Who will define success? How will you live your life? Every single person in the world has the right to decide this for themselves. So, friends, in other words, our lives become so fragile that the opinion, advice, thinking, imagination, and definition of every single person in the world starts to dominate every breath we take. Then we no longer live our own lives. Instead, we live the life that others want us to live. And friends, let me tell you something truly surprising. This is something from Swamiji's time. I saw a woman who had spent her entire life with Swamiji. And at one point she said, Guruji, I never lived my own life. I just couldn't live my own life. In trying to please others, in living according to others, in the hope that people would like my daily lifestyle, the life I lived never really felt like mine. Friends, if after living our whole lives we have to say, I never really lived my own life, then how tragic is that? And for those who loved us, if they hear this, how heartbreaking would it be for them? They might say, We only ever wanted the best for you. When did we ever stop you from living your life or doing your own things? But unfortunately and unwillingly, our biased nature, our expectations, we want to see you like this. This becomes such a big, massive burden on others' shoulders. So, friends, always remember one thing: your life is your own. God created parents as a means to give us life so that you could live this life for a few days. And to give you a strong support, He chose certain people who would give you the right and solid first steps in life. But will they always be with you? For as long as you want to live your life, or as far as you will go, perhaps the people from the previous generation will not be able to accompany you that far. So, what will happen when you reach that stage in your life where you say, I couldn't live according to my own wishes? So, friends, what is it that we want to achieve in our lives, and on whose say so has that thing become so important to us? It is very important to find the answer to this as soon as possible and in your own time. The thing you are running after today, does it really mean success for you or not? Will it bring you happiness or not? Is it even worthy of your life or not? Are you really willing to achieve, friend, the things which are so important for you today? From morning till night, whatever you are doing, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to become, whatever you want to accomplish, all the things you have planned. In 2 years, I will get this. In 5 years, I will get that. In 10 years, I will become this. I will have this. I will have so many things. I will have earned so much fame. So many people will be praising my name. Is that really what you want to achieve in life? And friends, for all that, in the 24 hours you have today, every moment, every second, every day, with the speed at which you are working, are you even able to live a few moments of your present? Today, it is very important to understand and reflect on this matter. I will take 12 more questions. Friends, you are asking very beautiful questions. Isn't a true winner the one who remains balanced even in defeat? My dear friends, if we are constantly sitting down to talk about what it truly means to be victorious in this life and what it really means to be a genuine winner, then we must consider every aspect. How will you win? Then the joy of victory lies only in how you feel. Many times, how you feel about your victory is influenced by a lot of people. We have to get good marks, but why do we have to get them? Because we have already mapped out the next 10 years ahead of us. But do we actually like that subject? Do we really want to learn something? Will we actually learn anything? Will we be able to learn something in our lives? We are running fast after something, and being successful, being victorious, achieving victory in everything has become very important for us. My dear friends, this whole complex concept of winning and losing in competition has truly become a massive and overwhelming part of our daily lives and our modern society these days, influencing almost everything we do. Both winning and losing are born out of competition. Competition means not with yourself, but you want to win against other people. Who do you actually want to win against? You have two, four, or 10 people whom you want to surpass. But first, we need to understand whether this race is really ours to begin with. Do we really want to win just like others do? Do we only want to get ahead of someone else? And if we can't win, will we have to console ourselves? But still, our race will remain the same. Friends, today I want to tell you that first, try to understand what this race actually is. What is it that we truly desire in the end, in the real sense? Whenever the thing we want to do is driven by others, whenever it comes from the expectations of other people, what is it that others want from you? Then you'll realize that there are thousands of people around you who have all these small, small, small expectations from you. And you are so burdened by these standards that sometimes you're even afraid to take two breaths on your own terms. You feel, what will happen if I do this? What will happen if I don't do what I don't want to do? What if I don't become good boy in just one day? What will happen then? Just one day. If I try something new, if I want to learn something new, if I want to do a new job, if I want to go in a new direction, then what will happen? Friends, it is very, very important for us to understand whether we are living our own lives or if we have become compelled to live a life full of running around, filled with the expectations created by others all around us. And today, I just want to tell you this much. Come on, friends, let's address today's topic through some short answers. How do we show children the right path? Friends, children already know the right path themselves. Within every conscious being lies awareness. God from within begins to guide us in the right direction from inside. You will only show them what you want, but who can guarantee that we know everything correctly? We only know as much as we have learned ourselves. Friends, let me tell you something very beautiful. Just a few days ago, a very beautiful incident took place. People who spoke the same language suddenly got upset with each other over something, and when they got upset, they exchanged some words. In anger, they started using abusive language and spoke harshly to each other, and suddenly people began to get angry. Meanwhile, a person speaking a different language came from behind, and when he started saying those things in his own language, the other person thought that maybe he was trying to mediate. And suddenly he calmed down, the fight stopped, and later it was discovered that the two people who were swearing were being joined by the third person who was also swearing in his own language. You think that the environment, the scope, the well you know is all there is. After that, you believe that there is nothing beyond or behind it. But, friends, the dream that a child or any person wants to achieve in life, we do not give them that inner dream. God is their own. What you can give is that you can become a great medium. The effort to gain knowledge, the desire to learn something new, carrying that desire to learn something new, and it's not necessary that it only comes from books. By meeting good people, moving in the right direction, sitting with good people, making your life a little more interesting in good places, and often by trying new things that you are afraid of, things that scare you. There are many things you wish you wouldn't do. But sometimes when you do those things because of your fears, you suddenly realize that it wasn't so bad after all. My dear friends, we have received 12 different questions, and one of them asks, how can a person actually go about getting rid of some memories? My friends, I am asking you to please do not ever try to do this at all. This is because whenever you attempt to do such things or when you try to forcefully forget the memories of someone else, you are essentially throwing yourself completely against something that is simply not within your own control. You see, memory and remembrance are nothing more than a deep subconscious impression that has already been firmly imprinted upon the layers of your mind. An incident that you have heard, seen, or experienced in your life, all those things around you have been subconsciously imprinted on your mind. Now, how can you erase that? The more you try to run away from something, the more it will affect you. A problem, a big challenge will stand before you, whether it's a memory, the wrong people, a bad experience, or a negative part of your life. If you run away from something, don't. Whenever you try to run away from something in your life, that very thing will stand before you even more strongly as a problem. Friends, let me try to take 12 more questions. Pankaj, I have answered your question. I hope you will reflect a little on this answer. Whatever I say, friends, it's not necessary that you accept those things. You should reflect on them. Because life is not what people have told us it is. Spirituality is not what people are telling us it is. Connecting with consciousness in our lives, connecting with God in our lives, that is that power which is far beyond your and my limits. To connect with that, you will have to go in directions in your life where you don't want to go. You cannot learn anything. Now you can only discover certain things. You cannot learn anything new. You can only discover certain things. And to become an explorer, you have to keep yourself curious. You have to be curious. If you are not curious, then many times things will become very difficult for you to move forward in life. Friends, let's take one more question. Bunch says, regarding relationships, regarding the future, regarding career, regarding marriage, these things are happening. How to avoid overthinking? Friends, overthinking in itself, if you look a little deeper into the word, explains itself as a very big topic for you. When you think about something far beyond its limits, why do you think about something? Because you want to find a solution to it, right? But will you find a solution just by thinking about it? You never get a solution just by thinking. Whenever you want to know something about anything, you should only do so up to a certain limit. But that thing, you won't get it by repeating the same questions 1,000 times. Many times in life, you need to do something to adopt new paths in your life. If you feel that there are issues in your relationships, or if you are worried about certain things you want to do in your life, then just thinking about them will not bring any results in your life. The best way is to start doing what you want to do. And friends, some very special people have said something very meaningful about this. If you have the ability to accomplish in 6 days what is usually done in 6 months, then the chances of reaching the success you have envisioned in your life increase tenfold. How? Because when you push yourself to do in 6 days what you used to think you would do in 6 months, you drive yourself more and more towards action, towards getting things done. You pushed yourself to your limit to achieve something that you might get in 6 months. To get something in 6 days that you would normally get in 6 months, you pushed yourself 6 times harder towards action rather than just thinking, pondering, or worrying about it. Take action, my friends, whether it's about a relationship or if it's something related to what you want to do later in your life. But who will decide that? You have to decide it yourself. Many times I believe that you can become a very good doctor, but do you want to become a good doctor? Do you want to become a good teacher? Do you want to become a good professor? Do you want to become a good barrister or judge? What do you want to do? Until you decide this, you are moving towards a state of burnout because you are trying to achieve things that are shaped by other people's expectations. So, friends, today's topic is especially for those students who think that they have to achieve certain things, crack some exams, and who are working hard every day for some government exams. Friends, when you keep postponing the work related to your subject every day while preparing for government exams, you want to work in a bank, but not just any bank. You only want a government bank job. Why? Why is it that once you get a government job, you feel you don't need to work anymore, and then you don't feel the need to move towards being industrious? So, isn't this a big deception? You want results, but at the same time, you spend 8 years, 10 years just sitting idle for one exam, doing nothing for 10 years. Why are you not taking action? Start engaging in activities that enhance your abilities, not just those that increase your claim to a certain qualification. Because if your claim becomes so strong that when you finally get that job, you don't even enjoy doing it, you start running away from the work itself. Friends, we must try to believe in one thing. You can only be truly happy in life, only experience real joy, only live life the right way, and only truly honor the life given by God when you understand this. If you keep thinking of life as a race, like a horse race, and let others decide what your victory means, if you let others decide when you will win in your race, then no matter where you go, wherever you are, you will always find yourself in a state of distress. So, friends, the only reason I chose today's topic is that many people, children, youth, adults, and even those working jobs, are caught up in a big race. And why is this race happening? Because our ambitions, even our missions, are not truly ours. They are not things we actually want to achieve. A certain life, a certain quality of life, a certain way of living, having this much bank balance, a house, there's this race to have our own house, even though it won't really be in your name. Who decided that these things are important for you? When you were young, these things weren't that important to you. A 10 or 12-year-old child doesn't think, I want to build my own house. I want to live on a vast piece of land. I want to accumulate a lot of wealth. I want to keep perfecting all these things. They just want to live their life, to be present in the moment, to laugh, play, be happy, enjoy life with others. Somewhere in our childhood, what we were doing, wasn't that the right way? And what we are doing now, are we living our lives locked inside the small box of our minds, racing in a single direction just because of our own thoughts and intellect? So, friends, it is very, very, very important to reflect on this, all of you who are present here. Friends, I know today's topic is very special, even if just for a little while. Hello, friends. Today, we are also going to try our very best to explain and clarify the specific details of this live broadcast session in the English language for those members of our audience who are living in other countries around the world. Whoever is listening to this live outside of India, We are discussing today a very simple and very easy topic because a child came to me and he said that I am trying to learn so much. I am trying to achieve so much, but I am not happy about it. Every day I am working hard, and I still say that I will not achieve what I want to achieve. I want to achieve certain kinds of numbers. I want to get this kind of report. I want to get the first position. I want to feel that everybody is happy with my efforts. When I heard this, I found it very interesting that a boy is living under so much pressure, under the expectations of so many people who want him to become something specific. And then I realized, isn't this the fundamental condition of each and every one of us? We are all living a certain kind of life where we firmly believe that only if we achieve this specific milestone, then we are truly appreciated by others. Only then are we considered successful, and only then are we living the absolute best life we can possibly live in this lifetime. Our lives have become a kind of constant benchmark, a never ending chain of goals, many different thresholds to cross, and a relentless pursuit of validation that never seems to end. We try, we must have this kind of wealth, this kind of money, this kind of security. If you are 40 or 50, we must have this. If we reach this kind of success, then we are really living the true life. But the true nature of our happiness is that we are hardly ever satisfied with these kinds of benchmarks, thresholds, these achievement pinpoints that we have created in our lives. And very funny if you realize these are not even your own goals when you were a child. What you wanted was just to play in the present moment. You wanted to be happy with whatever you could do with your hands, with your mind, with your curiosity. You were looking at things, wondering how you could find happiness in the things around you. You were never thinking about achieving something. You never had the idea to have a house of your own with a certain kind of land around it. You did not have this idea that I should have a wardrobe full of clothes, matching shoes, different kinds of gadgets, different kinds of accessories, or the most expensive car. You were not thinking about what people would think of you. You were just happy because you could play, you could do something new, you could make art, you could create all sorts of different things with your life. Have you forgotten how to truly live in this gift of God? There's a very funny quote I read earlier. Your past is your worries, your future is your intentions, your thoughts, your ideas, but your present is the gift of God. You lived this gift until a certain period of your life when you were small, when you were a kid, and you were just finding a way to be happy with anything around you. If you had clay, you were playing with clay. If you had mud, you were playing with mud. If you had paper, you were being curious and doing different kinds of things, but you never had a plan for what you wanted to do next. You never had you need to have a clear plan for exactly how you want to live tomorrow. That is the true and authentic way you should live your life. But most of the time, we simply live according to the limited perceptions held within our own minds. Many people around you will try to create this specific idea of success for you, telling you that you must achieve something great, such as if you become a high level manager, a respected team leader, or if you become someone of great importance. Whether you are the high level executive of such an incredibly amazing job, or perhaps pursuing the many different kinds of lives you truly want to achieve, is that what we should really define as success? You likely have a very detailed plan for yourself. So today, I would like to share. I really want to answer that for you, my boy. If you honestly think you are not happy with your present life because you are trying so hard to make so many other people happy, then the truth is that you are not truly living a truly fulfilling life. And that's where you need to start changing. Change your perception today. And to everyone who loves you, everyone who is around you, everyone who is expecting too much from you, stop doing that. Start this new year with one resolution: less expectation. Let everyone live the way they want to live. Let them be present and have a moment to realize, to reflect on that gift of God which is all around us: nature, the fresh air, the true peace that God has given inside you. In order to truly have that deep and authentic sense of connection with your own inner self, It is essential to realize that you cannot succeed if you do not stop relentlessly chasing what others have set for you as a standard, benchmark of success. You will never live your true life. It will be too late when you find yourself in your 60s or 70s thinking, why did I live so long just to achieve something that does not bring me pleasure today? Why didn't I live with those loved ones who were always around me and I didn't have time for them? Why didn't I feel happy each and every day, even though I had all the possibilities? So, my friends, I want to tell you one very important thing. And this is also the complete answer to that young boy's question. If you do not happen to achieve certain specific numbers, it really doesn't matter. If you don't achieve certain expected results, it truly doesn't matter at all. If everyone expects you to come in first place, to get 90% or even 95% and you simply don't get it, it honestly doesn't matter. Try to live happily with the acceptance that you can achieve your absolute best by remaining constantly curious, to eagerly learn and striving to accomplish brand new things all around you. And I can truly say to all those deeply caring and devoted parents and loving family members, please consider letting go of those heavy expectations you place on everyone. Live with the incredible potential you have today. That's the only way you can truly live in spirituality. Spirituality is not about having so many futuristic ideas and not living in your present, even for a little bit. Spirituality says only one thing: live in the present, cherish it, be happy with what you have today. And that's the way you can live your life in the right way. So, this is the one thing I want to say to you today. Friends, that's all for today. To everyone present here, I just want to say one thing. You might think that a small taunt, a small comment, a little remark that slips out, or a small bitter word, what effect could it possibly have? Hold yourself back. Don't do that. If you keep pushing and feeding bad ideas into words, whether it's your daughter, your son, your daughter in law, your children, you might think, if they don't do things my way, I just say something out of anger. And you keep doing this every day. You are destroying your wonderful options. God has given you such a beautiful life all around you. And every day, by saying these small negative things, you are ruining it. Don't do that. Accept your present and whatever is coming to you in life with happiness. If you have less, that's perfectly fine. If you don't have 1,000 clothes and only have two sets, that's perfectly fine. If you don't have 10 different kinds of dishes to eat and only have dal and roti, or even just dry roti, that's perfectly fine. Who cares what people or society around you consider to be success? If you accept what you are today and are happy with it, don't let what others say make you feel weak. And don't let that weakness carry over to the generations that come after you. Be strong. What you are today, be curious, learn what you have up your sleeves, by God. Friends, thank you very, very much. I know that whatever I share with you, some things are such that you listen to them and you like them. Some things are such that you praise them, and some things make you very happy. However, the truly effective way to approach this is to deeply reflect on those specific things. Make sure to write them down if you find that you like anything at all. If there is anything you find particularly good or helpful in what I am saying to you now, please take a moment to write it down and really think about it. You will inevitably find that you have both very good and perhaps some bad thoughts about it. There will be times when you'll want to cross out those things thinking they were said incorrectly. And there will also be good thoughts like maybe this was said correctly. Reflect, contemplate, discuss, and deliberate on both sides. If you feel that you do not completely agree with what I have said, come the next day and whether through live interaction or some other medium, try to refute those things. Because if you just listen and don't thoroughly scrutinize what you've heard, it will never truly become a part of your life. It will be a wasted practice. All the efforts you and I are making will go to waste because we haven't truly adopted those things. And India, in particular, is known for this. We don't accept something until it's too late. So let's make sure this misfortune doesn't become the misfortune of our lives at this time. With this same mindset, friends, I want to thank all of you very much today so that as you begin this new year, you can make this time even more impactful, refine yourself, discover yourself, and by connecting yourself to new challenges in life with happiness. Don't be afraid that something will go wrong. Face new challenges and try to take your life in a new direction. I say this, friends, because all the people close to me say one thing, but when it comes to practicing it, there is so much contradiction in what they do, what they say, and their methods that sometimes even I think maybe I should give up this work. Because if no one is willing to accept the impact of something, if there is no effect even after months, then practicing those things is not considered right. If I do something regularly and you are not ready to bring that thing into yourself, then not much effort can be made with you on that matter. This is a very small practice that we can observe in our lives. So, friends, thank you very much for today. I hope you liked today's live session. If you found anything good from this live, please share it, connect it with your acquaintances. They can become a part of this live, a part of this Q&A. If you haven't yet connected with any of our social media platforms, there is a barcode on one corner of your screen, friends. If you scan it, you can connect with all our social media channels, whether it's our trust, through which you can join in service activities or various schemes working in different fields. You can learn about everything. By scanning this little child, you can access it all. Thank you very much. Friends, that's all for today. I hope you will definitely be a part of the next live session. The next live has been prepared to discuss some very special topics so that you can be a part of it. If you have any questions that are currently obstacles for you, please do share them with us so that we can also make them a part of our live session. Thank you very much to all of you for being a part of today's live. Good night, friends. That's all for today. We will meet again soon. Until then, thank you.